Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Reviews on Tap channel. And I'm Nganawe Live. You've probably seen me on my channel on Nganawe Live, and I don't do obviously international film reviews on my channel. I do mostly strictly local films, and this is my first review on Reviews on Tap, and I'm going to be touching on Solo, a Star Wars story. For those who are not fans of the Star Wars franchise, Star Wars started back in, I think, in 1977 with the original trilogy, Star Wars. It was a New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and the Return of the Jedi. Then later, some years later, they released Phantom Menace, Revenge of the Sith, and some other one I'm forgetting. But long story short, there have been 6 movies since then, and then later on in 2015, they rebooted the entire franchise. Disney bought over the rights, and they gave us The Force Awakens, they gave us Rogue One, they gave us The Last Jedi, and we are here with Solo, a Star Wars story. So now what they're doing is they will carry on with the original episodes of the original Star Wars trilogy, but then they're also giving us spin-off stories of other characters, specifically based on characters that we know within the franchise. I'm a fan of the new Star Wars, not much a fan of the old Star Wars original trilogy and the prequels. I really love the new Star Wars. I feel like they're better overall films. They have a better production design, set design, they have better acting and dialogue. Overall, they're just better movies than the first one. It was enjoyable. That's the first thing I want to like. And the guy, Alden, who plays Han Solo, he plays a young Han Solo. They don't really give us much backstory in terms of where does he come from, but they start off as a young man, a young gentleman, Han Solo, with a love interest, and then they go on from that, basically from that. How did I feel about the guy? I feel like he played his role perfectly. I don't feel like he was really trying to, how can I put this, trying to emulate Harrison Ford, because we all know Han Solo to be Harrison Ford. I feel like he literally just created his own in honor of the character, but not necessarily the old actor, which is Harrison Ford. Donald Glover is one of the main characters, or actors rather, we were really looking forward to in the film. I enjoyed Donald Glover's performance more than anybody else. He had more screen time than I actually expected him to, and I really liked how stylish and suave and like charming he actually was. I mentioned to you guys, I don't really like the old Star Wars, and the reason for that is because when I watch every Star Wars film from beginning to end, the story I get is it's a story about hope. And the original trilogy and the prequels don't really tell me that story in a well-presented format. It's only when it comes to the new generation of Star Wars where I really feel like, okay, we have something to have. And when do you have hope for something? When you're down and out, you have no other options except to hope for something and build towards that. And the new Star Wars generation, Star Wars rebooted franchise, gives me an idea of that. Rogue One, Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, Solo, they give you an idea of we are fighting for hope. We have hope in something. It's a bit less darker, a bit less deeper than those. It's just a fun film. You know, you get to see the character of Han Solo, how he became to be the galactic outlaw that he currently is now. One character that I always hated through the entire franchise is Chewbacca. For me, is an unnecessary character. Why do you have him there? But when you get to see Chewbacca on Solo, a Star Wars series, like, amazing. You get to see the backstory. How does Han come across Chewbacca, and how do they get this entire relationship going on as a sidekick, or whatever you may like to call that. These guys are pretty good on screen together in this film. Before that, I really felt like Chewbacca is totally unnecessary. In the beginning, the movie is sort of like clunky. It's a bit like you don't see where we are going until unfortunately, this is spoiler-free review, so I can't reveal much. So, but beyond the first act, the movie starts picking up. It starts getting better. But before that, it's kind of like, yeah, we could have done a better job with doing this and that. When the film was commissioned and they started out shooting, it was actually a different set of directors. There was 2 directors at the beginning, and they were fired almost immediately, and then Ron Howard was brought on as a director. I mentioned earlier on that the film does feel a bit clunky at the beginning. I don't know whether those were the scenes that were shot by the initial directors or not, but you can kind of place where the movie starts to shift moods and become something else when Ron Howard came on. Overall, do I feel like I like this movie? Yes, I did. Do I feel like this was a necessary film? Just like Deadpool 2, no, I don't feel like this was a necessary film, but it's here and I actually enjoy it. But there are a whole lot of things that were set up in Solo, a Star Wars film, a Star Wars story that could be something else in the future. If you're a film fan and a Star Wars fan, definitely go see out this movie. If you're a Star Wars fan or you're looking to get into the franchise, depending on how much you know, you may want to start off with this film. If you're not a Star Wars fan, you must want to start off maybe with Rogue One or some other films before then. If you guys are interested in local films or anything local film related, strictly local film, please head on to the Nqanawe Live channel at NQNAWELIVE. You can also same handle check me out on Twitter rather. And if you're interested in my photography, please check out Nqanawe.imax, which is NQNAWE.IMAX. Have you seen Solo, a Star Wars film? And if you have, how do you feel? Do you agree with anything I said? What did you like about the film? And what did you not? Do you agree with anything I said? And yeah, that's basically about it. So yeah, that's basically it, guys. I enjoyed the movie. Would I recommend it? Depending on who you are, I would. Depending on who you are, I wouldn't. That's basically about it. See you on the next video, guys.